I think of a future when every tool that I have in my stack has an AI agent capability, and like they each have their own orchestration logic. They need to figure out a way to work together, especially in enterprise environments. Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, I think this view may be unpopular, but I think there's a bit of a reckoning occurring within software itself because you have to provide critical data or a critical service within a domain, right? So if you think about the main departments within an organization, marketing, finance, sales, etc., there's fairly dominant players within each one, and they kind of own a specific set of data record or a specific set of action that they can take within that, right? So maybe it's a Salesforce and CRM, maybe it's a Workday and HR, maybe it's a NetSuite in finance. And what's interesting is for a long time, as the big consolidation occurred within many companies, the CIO and the IT office basically went and said, hang on a minute, we've bought all these point solutions to try and get these things to interconnect to each other, but now we have like 400 or 500 applications. So how do we govern all this stuff? How do we manage all of it? iPaaS became a way that you make that interconnectivity between different applications easier, right? That was one of the solutions that occurs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always going to get really great domain-specific applications that are going to be independently valuable, right? That's never going away. It's just that the bar just got really high because the problem that you just described is, and this is a recurring theme that I have as I go and meet with customers, if you're the IT leader of a large organization or the marketing leader and your 30 vendors are telling you to go turn on the AI for their application, you sort of become like an AI referee. You have to figure out, well, do I turn it on for this one and not for this one? And is this one going to overwrite what occurs here? And how do I like manage or govern, what is going, like, is all this going into the same LLM? Do I have to go and maintain that? How do I make sure that somebody doesn't post like a social security number into the wrong place that goes? And so I think what I see happening, and to sort of bring it back to your question on iPaaS and maybe the perspective that we have. So I think agents, building an agent capability, you can see it across three main vectors. One is specific point-to-point AI solutions, right? Like a AI SDR application. Maybe there's a AI marketing campaign application, right? These are independent software vendors. I think it's tough to, you've really got to have a strong value prop and a really specific entry point that is going to ensure that you're protected in some form as those things scale. The second one is you get the bigger vendors who roll out their own AI solutions, right? Your agent forces and others. Now they're going to be great for everything that occurs within that domain because their interconnectivity outside of that domain isn't going to be top priority, isn't going to be something that they're going to be putting a huge amount of value on, and you're sort of reliant on their roadmap for it to go and occur. Agents that are backed by an iPaaS are naturally integrated into every application. You get full governance and control of where those executions happens, and critically, it all occurs in one place. So if I'm sat in IT and I say, hey, I want the marketing ops person to be able to have autonomy or control over building agents, do I want them to go and do it in a third-party application that requires additional governance, or would I rather have a consistent way that all these executions occur in one place? And I think one of the key components or challenges about a lot of these agent solutions is they rely on well-built-out integrations, and they rely on well-built-out integrations that can carry out action. And I think over time, we'll see the AI get better at carrying some of that out on its behalf, building building connectivity itself. But we're a ways away from that right now. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of kind of turnover in a lot of software stacks, experimentation with new applications, trying to find quite what fits. Can I get the job done within this platform? Do I now need multiple platforms? Am I kind of back to where I was with point software? Like, I think there's still quite a lot to unravel from where we go from here. And I think every domain is having to reinvent itself. As I said earlier, the rules for iPaaS have changed because if we can't support AI workloads, there's a base case for integration as a standard, but you're going to miss where the mark is. And I think for a lot of software vendors and folks, it's where do we fit in this world? And that's still unraveling a little bit.